you can ask those questions as well. Previous questions, that question from previous lectures also you can ask during tutorial. And this tutorial, it would be helpful to solve problems in quiz as well. So everyone need to attend the tutorial class. So I'm going to share this slide. Are you able to see the slide? Anyone respond?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, fine. Then I'm going forward. So today we will discuss about we will recall few concepts from basis. Then we will directly go to discuss about four fundamental subspecies of a matrix. And it means that we have already studied everything about four fundamental subspecies of a matrix, and those are just subspecies of matrix. It happens to be subspecies of matrix. And till now you have already seen two different kind of subspecies of a matrix. One is image image kind of subspace. Another one was kernel kind of subspace. You are having a matrix A, then always you can get two subspecies. So four fundamental subspecies would be either as a image subspace or it would be a kernel subspace. So that is the criteria. Coming to outline of my today's lecture, first I would talk about basis as a recap, and then I will talk about once you are having a basis, then you can define a very beautiful concept, or we call this concept is a invariant concept with respect to a subspace. So whatever subspace would be there, a subspace may have more than one many bases, but dimension is always invariant. Dimension would be always a unique number, and you know that something which is unique with respect to any concept, then that concept is unique concept is playing very important role to characterize the underlying concept, underlying structure. Okay, then I will talk about the four fundamental subspecies. First, image of a given matrix A that we had already studied a lot. And we will discuss about kernel of A that also we had studied. Now new subspecies are coming, image of A transpose. So if you are having a matrix, then we know that it happens to be image happens to be, it is a linear combination, all possible linear combination of column of matrix A. So that's why another representation of image. Now onward, we will call it C of A. That it says that collection of all linear combination of column of A. C refer for column. And similarly, the kernel space of A. What does it kernel of A? What does it say? It says that it is a collection of the all element which vanishes when you apply A over uh, these elements. So if you are taking any element from X and you apply over the operator or matrix A over X, then it will be zero. That means kernel is the uh, collection of pre-images of zero under the operation A. So that's where you can say that it is nullified. So it is containing those elements from the domain which become vanished with respect to when you apply the matrix A over the element. So that's why another name of this one we will call it null space. So null space, nullification, it is related with null space. So we will take first letter of that n and we will denote it by, now onward we will denote kernel of a matrix by n of A. It is talking about, we will call it null space. Nullification it is talking about, null space or kernel space, both are same. So we will call it here null space of matrix A. Okay. Similarly, I had told that this one is this representation image as a column space. We will call it column space. We know that image is always coming as a linear combination of column of a given matrix. That's why so another name of an image subspace of a matrix. You can call it column space of A. Now we are having two other subspaces. One is image of A transpose, another one is image of null of or kernel of A, A transpose. So what is this one? If you try to look into that, so uh, what are the columns of A transpose? Columns A of A transpose are nothing, just it is these are row of A. We know that if you are having a matrix A, then if you do, so if you are writing matrix like this way, row wise, first row, likewise, suppose it is M by N matrix, so mth row, last row is mth row. So you can give representation of matrix in both way, row picture or column picture, both picture. So I have written this matrix in row wise. So if you willing to find A transpose, what would be A transpose? Row of A becomes column column of A transpose. So that's why here A1 will come. Second column of A transpose would be A2. Likewise, it will go up to mth column of A transpose. So it simply says that rows of A becomes columns of A. That is the criteria. So you are not changing the entries. Entries are same. Just representation has been changed. So due to that, you are having a new matrix A transpose. If you are willing to find image of this one, that one is again a subspace. That subspace we are calling it column space of A transpose or image of A transpose, or other way also you can say that this image of A transpose are coming as a linear combination of column of A transpose. That means linear combination of rows of A. So another name of this one in term of A, you can call it, it is a row space of A. Similarly, it is what? It is null space of A transpose. So another name of kernel due to nullification, you can call it null space. So null space of A transpose. Similar relation, you can say that. So it is, you are getting this one is kernel or null space of this A transpose. Similarly, in similar fashion, you can get another name. Also, you can call it because you know that what is the meaning of kernel of a matrix. It says that it is talking about collection of all the domain element which mapped to 0 under A. So if you do transpose both sides in the equation here, so what kind of form it will take? It will take form. If you do apply transform, you know matrix transformation. You from class 12, you may have idea how can you transpose a matrix. If you transpose product of a matrix, then A into B transpose, it would be equal to, there is a inversion kind of things. So it would be B transpose into A transpose. So this is the criteria of defining transpose of product of two matrix. So similar feature you will apply it here. So here it becomes X transpose A transpose. You may remember here equal to 0. What is transpose of 0 is 0. And what you do similarly, you are finding those X, so that X transpose A becomes 0. So it is talking about null space of, it is here what you observe here, X is coming left hand side. So that's why another name of kernel of A transpose, you can call it left null space of A. You can call it, because X is coming left hand side, so you can call it in transform form. So another name of this, you can call it left null space or kernel space of. So these are the criteria. Null space of A. In between, if you have any question, you can ask that. So it is nothing. All these four are what we are having. We have already. We are having enough idea to find all these kind of four subspaces. It is all about now finding basis. So basis.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
So I have a question I have a question that if we plot the image and kernel in vector form, then are these two vectors perpendicular to each other or not?
Yeah, it is perpendicular if your matrix is a square matrix. If matrix, what
Only for
matrix you are
square.
a square matrix, and it is also perpendicular in another sense. I will discuss that later. If your matrix is a square matrix, that means matrix is uh, talking a transformation from Rn to Rn. Then you will say your matrix is a square matrix. But if your matrix is not a square matrix, it is any rectangular matrix, then you will say that matrix transform one space, that domain space Rn to Rm. Rm. So in this shape pattern, in a square matrix, directly you can say that your image is perpendicular to image of matrix is perpendicular to kernel of matrix. Directly you can talk about. That means this one is self-mapping criteria, kernel of A. But if you are defining a matrix which is rectangular, that means having m number of columns and n number of rows. That means you are defining a transformation from Rn to Rm, Rn to Rm. So this kind. So this matrix, it would be what kind of matrix? It would be m by n matrix. It is not a square matrix. It is a very generic representation of matrix. And here in the first case, matrix is your a square matrix, n by n matrix. Okay, so here what will happen? You will get four fundamental subspaces. So here, image of this matrix, image of A, where it will come? It is coming in here in your target space. And similarly, if you find null space of A transpose, null space of A transpose, where it is coming? That one is also coming in target space. So that's why image of A is perpendicular to kernel of A transpose. It is perpendicular to kernel of A transpose. And what is kernel of A? Kernel of A is perpendicular. It is in your domain space. So kernel of A happens to be perpendicular to your image of A transpose. Image of A transpose. So these are the specific criteria. So this criteria, I will give a picture at the end of this class. I will give a very good picture of all these four fundamental subspaces. So simply you assume that if you are having rectangular matrix, then you are getting four fundamental subspaces. But if you are having a square matrix, then only two. So there is and also you are putting symmetry. Then symmetry, due to symmetry, A into A transpose equal to A will come here. So those picture I will discuss in detail. Even symmetry is also not necessary. Without symmetry also you can establish. So here you can assume that here it looks very interesting that image of A is it is coming, it is in codomain space, and kernel of A transpose is also coming in codomain space. Later I will give name of this one. if you are going to study control theory, you can call this image as a reachable set and this kernel of A transpose as non-reachable set. And here kernel of A it is coming from codomain. It is a subset of codomain. Similarly, image of A transpose is coming from codomain. So those criteria we will talk about in detail in further classes. Okay, so we are coming to basis of image. So one method I had already discussed in last class, that one method is by inspection method. It is not always working, but sometimes it may work. So what one inspection method we had already discussed, but here I am going to discuss about method by Gaussian elimination method. It looks very general method and very specific method. And always whatever things I always try to put in algorithm sense so that easily you can implement in computer. So my idea is only that. So you can solve in computer using R. So here we will find basis of image with the help of Gaussian elimination method. So that technique here. So suppose we are having a matrix. This matrix is already given. So first step is what? We have to list the column of the matrix in proper ordering. Proper ordering. Okay. So okay, it is fine. It is here a method of inspection. Later we will discuss about Gaussian elimination method. So here we have to list the column of matrix in the form of list. So V1 is having entry 1 1 1. This one is V2. Second column is V2. Third column is V3, and fourth column is V4. Now we try to observe. We do inspection here. It is a method of inspection. Okay, so we do inspection. What if you observe V2? Always go do inspection sequentially. First, second, third. First is what is the inspection approach of first? Your first column must be non-zero. If it is zero, then by default you can say that there is a dependency. If it is non-zero, then you will talk about you will get to know if it is there is a zero column. Simply you can say that that column is redundant column. You don't have to consider. So try to get first non-zero column. So here itself, column 1 is the first non-zero column. So definitely it is a meaningful column. It is non-redundant column. So we get first column. Now we are coming to see second column. Second column is what? It is twice of first column. So that's why the second column is second vector V2 is redundant. We have to cancel it out from the list. We have to remove it out. Then again we see that V3 it is no more associated with V1. That means V1 and V3 both are non-collinear, or that's way independent. V1 and V3. So it's fine. You will leave it. You will not do anything with V1. Now, once you are coming to V4 you can further see that V4 you can write as a sum of V1 and V3. So that's way V4 is again a redundant. So V4 redundant. So we have already identified redundant by the method of inspection. So we will truncate or we will omit this from the list. After that, whatever remaining thing we will have remaining column, we will have those column would be non-redundant or linearly independent vector. So those vector will form a basis of the image of given matrix. So this is the criteria by method of inspection. So you directly got the basis. So what is the basis of this one? So basis we will denote generally several book they are taking notation of basis set. Basis is it is a collection of non coplanar. That means a collection of linearly independent vector or non-redundant vector. So here collection always we call it. It happens to be a set pattern. We write in the form of set. So your basis of this image is what? V1 and V3. It is a set containing only two vector V1 and V3. And remember that image can have more than one basis. So that we will discuss in next. So here we'll go more systematic. This approach is more systematic. So see here, we are having a matrix. This is the given matrix. In the given matrix, what we observe first, you have to put the columns of given matrix in the list. So you have already come across in the list. You can observe first one is non-zero vector. So you can proceed further. You have to look into second vector v2. V2 is having different direction uh, than v1. So simply you can say that v1 and v2 are linearly independent. They are not in the same line passing through origin. They are non-collinear. Now try to look into V3. So we can't say so V1 V2 are fine. There is no issue. There may be issue with V3. So here from the picture, it is not clear, very much clear whether it is a linear combination of V1 and V2. It is not clear. So to make it clear, what you have to do in the second step, consider that V3, consider write V3 as a linear combination of V1 and V2. And if you are getting non-zero alpha 1 and alpha 2, then your doubt will be clear whether it is linearly independent on V1 and V2 or not. So that doubt will be clear. So once you are putting things in this, you are writing V3 as a linear combination of V1 and V2, then you know that V1 and V2 are already given vector. V3 is also given vector. Here unknown is alpha 1 and alpha 2. That we need to find. So that how much factor of V1 is V3 and how much factor of V2 is in V3. So it took this form. So what is this form? This one is talking about system. We are solving system of linear. Here unknown variable is alpha 1 alpha 2. So we are very much already aware of how to solve system of linear equation. So write this one in this augmented form. So this is the augmented form. The right hand side vector always we write after dotted column. So this one is the augmented column. So we will apply here row reduced echelon operation, and row reduced echelon form of this matrix, augmented matrix, is this. From here we can conclude that what are the value of alpha 1 and alpha 2. So from here directly you can look into what is the value of alpha 1. Alpha 1 it will multiply with 1 and it will give -1. So value of alpha 1 is -1. And what is the value of alpha 2? Similarly, you will get alpha 2 is equal to 2. That means you are getting a non-zero value of alpha 1 and alpha 2. So simply it says that V3 depends upon V1 and V2. There is a clear dependency of V3 over V1 and V2. That means V3 we are able to write in terms of V1 at -1 minus V1 plus twice of V2. It simply says that V3 is a redundant vector. It is dependent vector or redundant vector. So we need to omit it from the list. So it is no more needed here because we had already seen in second step it is a redundant vector. So that's why now only non-redundant vector are V1 and V2. So that would form the basis of A. So this one is a very generic approach to find basis of a image. So what is the basis of the image of a matrix? You can simply say that it is made from only two elements, or you can say that it is a linear span of V1 and V2 only. So basis of this vector is what? Again, this subspace is V1 and V2. You got to know what is the basis. So you got the basis of this, so that you can say that image is a linear combination of these two vectors, V1 and all possible linear combination of V2. So this is the general approach. We had already discussed how to find the basis of the image of a matrix. Next, we will discuss about how to find the basis of a kernel. Kernel is very interesting. Again, it is having different approach. So we will go for linear relation approach. Through using linear relation approach, we can find basis of kernel. So suppose we are having n number of vectors v1 to vn. So what we do first, we need to what is, or simply we are having a matrix m by n matrix. That means we have to find kernel of this one. So what is kernel of this one? We have to find all x that satisfy this homogeneous system of linear equation ax equal to 0. If you try to further write it in column picture, you can get like this way, this structure. From here, this is the column. That means this is the linear relation or column picture. Also, you can call it column picture. So here we have to find x1, x2 up to xn in such a way that simply we are finding solution of space of this system. in order to find basis of kernel, we are finding solution of space of Ax equal to 0. Remember that it is always having a solution. One solution is 0 is always a solution of this one. If you are getting a 0 solution, then we simply say that the kernel is having only one element, that one is 0. But if we are having non-zero solution, non-trivial solution, then we will get a improper subspace. This that in that case we will get a proper subspace. This is improper subspace or trivial subspace, and in that case we will get proper subspace. That means the kernel will have element other than 0 vector as well. So that criteria is there. So there are two cases for kernel of to find kernel of a basis of a kernel. So suppose again we are having a matrix A. So again the steps are very much similar to finding basis of image. So what you do, list the vector in a proper order, v1, v2, v3, then define a linear relation. This is talking about linear relation. So correspondingly it becomes what? It becomes system of homogeneous system of linear equation. The B, capital B, I had always mentioned that wherever I mention to denote matrix, I will use capital letter. So capital B is a matrix having first column V1, second column V2, and third column V3. So we are planning to solve this system equation in order to find kernel of A, and we will look into basis of kernel, that kernel. So it is a system of linear equation. So it has been taken this form. So we can apply Gaussian elimination method. So after applying Gaussian elimination method or RREF form, so it is taking this form. Reduce it in this form. From here you can conclude that first variable, it is first. This one is the first pivot column. It is associated with the variable alpha 1 or x1 here. You can call it alpha 1, and second column it is also associated with pivot, this second pivot column alpha 2. So we can claim that alpha 1 and alpha 2 are dependent variable, but the column against third is the variable against this third column, it is not a pivot column. So what is the variable against this? Alpha 3. So alpha 3 is a free variable. Alpha 3 can take value free. Here it would be alpha 3 can take any value. So due to that reason, we can express alpha 1 and alpha 2 in terms of alpha 3. That means if you write reduced form of this RREF form, then what would be alpha 1 equal to reduced form would be alpha 1 equal to alpha 3. I hope that you won't face any problem writing this reduced system into the reduced augmented form into matrix form into system. So alpha 1 equal to alpha 3, alpha 2 equal to minus 2 times of alpha 3 and alpha 3 itself. So your solution of space will contains what kind of a structure? Here intensely I have skipped one step. So here solution of space of this system, it will contain this kind of vectors. So alpha 1 it is represented as alpha 3, alpha 1 equal to alpha 3, alpha 3 is a free variable, and alpha 2 is also written in terms of alpha 3, that means minus twice of alpha 3, and alpha 3 is a free variable, it will come itself. So what is common? Take out alpha 3 common in this coordinate. So you can write this vector like alpha 3 times, what is the remaining constant in first coordinate? It is 1. In the second it is minus 2, and in third coordinate it is 1. So that's why solution of space of this is what? This linear relation is what? It is multiple of single vector 1, minus 2, 1. So due to that, if you multiply a vector with a scalar, what you will get? You will get a line. So kernel space of this matrix is a line. So that's where the basis of, so you have to basis of this kernel, it will contains only this element. So this single vector, it will form a basis of kernel A. The same criteria, almost it looks similar to finding image, but there is a little bit difference. You can observe that the kernel element happens to be element of domain, and the image element happens to be element from codomain. That is the difference. Now we will coming to define dimension. Dimension is very important criteria, because if you are taking a subspace or simply a space, suppose we are taking a space like this way. So if in R2, what is happening for a given subspace? Uh, this one is a space R2. So for a given space, there are variety of bases. So one simplest basis is, so take two and take any two non-collinear direction, and that would be present a basis. So these are the non-collinear direction. One is E1, another is E2. So you can easily see that E1 and E2 both are linearly independent. E1 means 1 0 vector. E2 means 0 1. These are a standard notation for one unit direction vector, 0 1. So if you take one basis is this one. One basis is this one. It span. If you take, you can easily see that what are the criteria. First here, E1 and E2 are linearly independent. That you can easily see that both are not in the same line passing through origin. Second are Li. Li linearly independent, short form of linearly independent. And second, if you take a span of E1 and E2, that means 1 0 and 0 1. So linear span of this E1 and E2, it would be your complete space R2. It would be, if you find all possible linear combination of E1 and E2, then it will give all the point of R2. So that's way this one is a basis of this collection of vector, two vector. It is a basis of one basis of R2. Now someone is interested to find another basis. So how can you take another basis? You do in the same space, take any two other non-collinear vector. So suppose someone is willing to take this vector. What is the name of this vector? This vector is 1 1. And take another vector, this vector. What is the name of this vector? This vector is -1 1. It is -1 1. And you can easily see that these two vectors are also non-collinear. So these two vectors also candidate. Call this one, this vector V1, this V2. So if you observe that if these are non-collinear, so you can say that V1 and V2 are linearly independent. V1 and V2 are Li. Li. Okay, and if you take a linear combination of these two, because these are Li, then linear combination of these two vector, it will give complete R2. Linear combination of V1 and V2, it will give R2. That means in reverse way also you can say that if you are taking any vector from R2, then you can express that vector as a term of linear combination of V1 and V2, unique linear combination of V1 and V2. Suppose it is a homework, take any vector 0 1, okay, and you are willing to express 0 1 as a linear combination of alpha 1 as a linear combination of V1 and V2. Alpha 1 means alpha 1 times V1 plus alpha 2 times V2. And definitely you will get a unique solution for this one. That means it says unique representation. So here, whatever alpha 1 and alpha 2 you will get unique alpha 1 and alpha 2. So unique, it would be unique. That means unique representation. If you are taking another vector, you will get different unique alpha 1 and alpha 2. So it is a homework. It is just what? It is just like solving a system of linear equation in augmented. So what corresponding system? So you can convert this one in system of equation. Or directly I'm writing in augmented form. So in augmented form, you can write it like this way. So it is a by implication. First, that means first column happens to be 1, 1. Second column is -1, 1. And your augmented column is 0, 1. Because you want to represent 0, 1 in term of V1 and V2. So you have to solve this one by applying a row reduction echelon form. So convert this one into, and easily you will get value of alpha 1 and alpha 2. If suppose someone is willing to take another vector, suppose here or somewhere else, if you suppose you are willing to take a vector here from here. So what would be name of this vector? It is having more walk along x1 axis. So definitely, but negative walk. So it's called this vector. What would be this vector? This vector would be -2, -1. Negative walk along x2 axis as well. So you are willing to express this one as a linear combination of V1 and V2. So just write alpha 1 times V1 plus alpha 2 times V2. Then again you will get a unique alpha 1 and alpha 2 with respect to this point. So it means it says that every point in R2 is having unique representation with respect to V1 and V2. So similarly, it would be equivalent to solving system of linear equation. What would be? So all right in augmented form. So in the similar fashion, what we had described here, you can write it like this way. Your first column would be V1 1 1, and second column would be -1 1. And your augmented column is now changed. It is because you have taken different points. Augmented column is -1, -2, -1. So you have to solve this augmented matrix. After solving, you will get unique value of alpha 1 and alpha 2, just using Gaussian elimination method. So again, it is a unique. So you can say that every point is having a unique representation with respect to given vector V1 and V2. If someone is willing to take an other non-collinear vector in R2, any two non-collinear. So if you are taking only one vector, that would be enough, not enough to represent all possible point of the point in R2. Because if you are taking only one vector, then that linear combination of vector will represent a line. It will not represent complete plane. So that's why you have to get a plane structure. You have to take two non-collinear vector. So say, suppose you are willing to take a vector like this way. Your y x2 component is much higher than x1 component, so it would be 1, 2. Suppose you want to take another vector where 2, 1. So this vector would be 2, 1. So these two are, again, you can observe that are not in the same line passing through origin. So you can claim that these two, call it W1 and W2. So W1 and W2 is again forming a basis of this R2, a space R2. It is a basis of R2. Why? Why? Because W1 and W2 are not collinear. So that's where these are alike. So being a basis of a subspace or a space, what are the criteria? The vector must be Li, that means non-collinear in R2. And second condition, every element of that space you can represent as a linear combination of W1 and W2. That means you are saying that linear span of W1 and W2 is equal to the complete space R2. Is equal to complete space R2. Every point you can write like this way. So do a lot of homework for better understanding of subspace and basis. Here again, what you do, take any point. Suppose for simplicity, you want to say, take this point. What is the name of this point? This point is -1 unit along x1 axis and 1 unit along x2 axis. So minus 1 1. So if I am willing to find representation of this minus 1 1 with respect to w1 and w2, then simply I will write minus 1 1 1 equal to alpha 1 times w1 plus alpha 2 times w2. W2. So what you do, convert this one as a augmented matrix. So what would be here? So your W1 is the first column. So first column is having entry 1 and 2, and so W2 it would come as a second column. That means entry is 2 1. And what is the augmented column? The point itself would be in augmented column minus 1 1. So you have to this system of equation, and after solving this system of equation, because rank of this one is 1 2, so due to that always you will get unique solution. You will get unique alpha 1 and alpha 2. This is the story of several bases in R2. Similarly, you can define several bases in R3 as well, R4, R5, whatever dimension you can see that. But here we can see things up to 2D. That's why 2D and 3D. So that's why I'm giving those kind of example. If one is interested to see 3D, so this is the example of 3D. In plane, we can plot 3D as well. So this one is the x1 axis. This one is the x2 axis. And this one is the x3 axis. Okay. So take a simplest direction along one direction along x1 axis that we are calling it E1. It is E1 is a very standard notation, and E1 E2 all these are another direction along x2 axis that we are calling it E2, and another direction along E3 axis that we are calling it E3. So E1 is what? E1 is 100. E1 is your, it is 100. 100. E2 is what? 0. You are just walking one unit direction in the along with x2. So that's why x1 component and x3 component would be 0 and only unit component along x2. Similarly, what is E3? E3 is 0 0 1. So you are having three non-coplanar vector from R3. This is R3. So you can claim that easily because these are non-coplanar. So you can say that E1, E2, 3 are alike. Easily you can say that E1, E2, and E3 are alike. And a second concept is that if you are taking any point from R3, you can express that point as a linear combination of these two. That means you are saying that R3 is a it is a linear combination of E1, E2, E3, linear span of E2, and E1, E2, and E3. So that's way, if you take every point of R3 can be written as a linear combination of these three standard vector. So that's way E1, E2, E3 is forming a basis, one basis of R3. And whatever you can remember that you can take any three non-coplanar vector, take any three. V1 takes like 1, 1, 1. V2 take 1. Take another set of three vector in R3. 1, 2, 3. And V3 take which must not be linear combination of these two. Call it something like that. 4, 3, 5, something like that. You can check that. Definitely, if you come to verify that these three are linearly independent, then easily you can say that it will form these three vector will form a basis of R3, because you are taking vector 3 in number in R3. That's way if these are just linearly independent, say these three will form a basis. So you are having enough idea how to identify uh, how to check linearly independent. So through that, you first you need to verify linear independent concept. Then you will talk about a spanning. After that, you will talk about second step. Step for verifying the basis, you have to do this step first. Then you have to go for second step. I think uh, we have already covered 45 minutes. So in next class, I will talk in detail. In between, if you are having any question, you can ask. I have given enough examples here for how to, from the basis, how to come to define a uh, dimension. Because in last discussion, I had already mentioned that in a particular vector space, you can define variety of basis. But one thing is invariant. What is the invariant? Invariant number of independent vector happens to be invariant. That number of element and independent vector, that one is invariant. That invariant quantity we are calling it a dimension. Okay. Any question? Anyone is having? Then welcome. Otherwise, I am going to wind up today's class. Anyone is having any question regarding attendance? Go and mark your attendance there in Google Classroom. Okay. Fine. If you are not having any question, it's fine. I'm going to wind up today's class.